Are you working in business on your own, what you might call a solopreneur or a freelancer or an individual? Well, it can be incredibly wonderful, but it can also be incredibly demotivating as well. In this week's I Hate Numbers video, I'm going to share 5 tips for you for working for yourself and keeping those motivation levels up. That may sound great in the beginning, being a solopreneur. You've got the excitement of being in control, you've got in charge of doing what you want to, but it's not always as glamorous as it might seem. Loneliness and a lack of motivation will eventually creep in, and you might find yourself, bizarre though it may sound, missing your 9 to 5 more than you thought it was possible. However, remember the reasons you went into business. Typically, it could be for being in control, delivering your why, being more in charge of your own destiny, and that lost motivation may dissipate, never be found again. So it's important to mentally prepare yourself for those bumps in the road that are inevitable and understand how to motivate yourself to keep moving, even when the going gets tough, which it will do. In this video, I'm going to share those top tips for you to stay motivated as a solopreneur, as a freelancer, as an individual. Take your pick. Number 1, make the business adapt to your lifestyle. Now, freedom is often quoted by clients of mine who've gone into business, who leave that corporate world and go into business by themselves. Now, being in business, being an entrepreneur, entrepreneurship offers you the opportunity and the chance to fit the work around your lifestyle, not the other way around. Therefore, an important thing to remember to stay motivated is actually implementing that and putting it into practice. Perhaps easier said than done. Particularly in the startup phase of your business, where you feel that you've got to dedicate every single waking hour to your enterprise. You've got to invest all that time and energy, otherwise it's all going to disappear. But is that really the reason that you decided to venture out on your own? If you can align your business with your lifestyle, that's not only going to boost your overall satisfaction, but it will give you that extra motivation you need to keep on working, to make sure that your schedule works for you and you're not working for your business. Now, if you're the sort of person who enjoys those happy hours, socializing with friends, well, make sure you adjust your working schedule so that your days start and finish in time to have those social gatherings with your friend. Socializing doesn't have to go on the back burner, doesn't have to be kicked into touch, it can still be part of the fabric of your life. If, however, you're somebody who likes fitness, going to the gym, working out, going swimming, well, you've got that opportunity during the day. The hours can be more flexible, so you don't have to give it up. Don't abandon those things that give you enjoyment. Now, those are just a couple of other examples. Make sure that your business is balanced with the other interests that will keep that motivation level going. What's tip number 2? Well, tip number 2 is to find what's called a co-working space. Now, being able to work from the comfort of your own home is fantastic. When I started my own businesses 30 years ago, the back bedroom was my office. But when you're working on your own at home, it can get quite lonely, quite isolating. You might even go a bit stir crazy. You may also get disturbed by noisy family friends who may not necessarily understand what you're doing, and therefore it can be very difficult to focus and concentrate. Now, we live in an age where there is an opening up and an abundance amount of co-working spaces where you'll be able to meet like-minded individuals and work in that relaxed but focused environment. Co-working spaces are very flexible. You can have the conventional office space, churches, cathedrals, community centres, and they're going to run events like workshops and seminars which can help you to learn new skills and develop your ideas. Please do check out the show notes at the end, by the way, folks, here, and I'll give you a link to the Numbers Know-How business community, which is coming up for launch very soon. Number 3, find a support network. One of the biggest advantages of co-working spaces is the opportunity and the chance to meet and learn from your fellow business friends, from your solopreneurs you're in good company. They can not only sympathise but empathise in a way that your friends and family who aren't in business won't necessarily understand and get their heads around. They can give you that lift up, they can be that critical friend. Plus, they'll be able to offer those valuable insights and tips to help you work through your problems. Now, as a little plug here, folks, please do check out the Numbers Know-How community because it aims to help you move your business forward. Now, that's not the only way to meet other entrepreneurs. There are lots of opportunities. Networking is now gathering a pace of steam, peer-to-peer mentoring, masterminds. Do your due diligence though before you select it, but there's inspiration and ideas around you. We live in that virtual world, but we also live in that physical world, so enjoy the support and advice of your fellow entrepreneurs, your fellow business community. Now, participating in this sort of group not only keeps you accountable, which is really essential, but it helps you have that injection of motivation when yours may be lagging. Tip number 4, balance. Balance your workload. Now, it's easier said than done, and I'm going to hold my hands up to being guilty of that, but it's certainly a critical part of staying motivated. Now, studies have shown that small business owners tend to work much longer hours than the average worker in the UK. Now, companies can't make their employees work for more than a certain number of hours. 48 hours is the typical, but you don't have those constraints when you're working for yourself. However, it's definitely worth setting yourself a time limit to ensure that you stay both productive and sane. Keep that thing fresh. My advice to clients normally, by the way, is whatever your business is, consider yourself an employee of your business and make sure your terms and conditions are ones that are productive and positive. Now, it's the small micro adjustments that you make. Find out what's going to work for you. But if you don't do that and you continue to work, you will get burnt out, and that's not a good look. If you don't put in those hours, you may feel you're not making any progress. You'll actually end up getting bored when you overwork, you don't see the effort reaping any benefits. Don't abandon your long-term goals. Keep the destination in mind. Remember, the journey as a business owner, as a solopreneur, is a marathon and not a sprint. Overnight success typically is several years in the making. What's tip number 5? Well, it's about reward. Giving yourself reward for the efforts and the energies that you're putting in, going towards that achievement of that long-term goal, is a really powerful motivator. Too many of us in business think about the end goal, the big picture, and we don't appreciate the steps that we're taking towards the achievement of that goal. So one quick win, one easy way of doing this is to set those goals and break them down into micro steps. So profitability is a target. What does that mean on a week by week? Does that mean having customer calls? Does it mean some form of planning exercise? Whatever it is, when you achieve and hit those milestones, make sure you reward yourself accordingly. And that reward could be what delights you. It could be a walk. It could be scrolling on social media, watching cat videos. Who doesn't have a good cat video? You could be giving yourself a treat. Whatever that is, make sure you get that reward plugged in, and it doesn't have to be monetary necessarily. Now, what's the summation of what I've said here? Well, ultimately, folks, the key to staying motivated is to actually enjoy the journey and to remember to have some fun along the way. Now, it's not all fun. We have a range of emotions as human beings, so expect to have those down days as well as those up days as well. Self-discipline and focus is crucial, but you cannot continue a punishing schedule forever. You need to have those comfort breaks built in. Finding that work-life balance is ultimately the secret for success, as well as checking out the Numbers Know How community. The waiting list is open. We'd love it if you could get on that waiting list. More will be revealed. So folks, what do you think? Do you agree with those 5 tips? Do you have any to share? If you found this video useful, I'd love it if you could share it with those who will benefit. And until next week, stay motivated, stay sanguine, and stay positive.